All right, this lesson is on the pencil tool. To locate the pencil tool, we're going to go here right within the shaper tool. If we click, hold down, we'll go to this tool here. That's the pencil tool. I'm going to go ahead and release it. Now the pencil tool is selected. We have the option to double click on it, and we can see all of the options here. We just want to make sure that these options are the ones that are selected. The keep selected, which allows the path to stay selected so that you can continue drawing from it. The one that says close paths when ends are within, and that's so that you get that little circle indicator so that the path can automatically close as you're drawing and you come close to the starting and end point. Then the last part is the edit selected paths, and that's so that you can go back in and edit the path with your pencil tool. Okay. For fidelity, if we move it to the left here where it says accurate, that means that any little movement the pencil tool will record and create a point for it. If you move it towards smooth, it will remove some of the points just to smooth out the line. So if you have a really shaky hand, you might want to move it more towards the smooth. If you really want it to record everything that you're doing, then you're going to want to move it more towards accurate. I'm going to go ahead and leave it in the middle for right now. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and hit OK. And if we go ahead and we go down here, we're going to go ahead and pick a stroke color. I'm going to choose something like red so that the outline when I draw is going to stand out. And then I'm going to click the fill color here, and I'm going to do the no fill because I don't want, as I'm tracing around, things to start filling in with color. Okay. And the way this pencil tool works here is to draw, you're going to click, hold down and drag, and you're going to draw around the area that you're trying to trace. Now, by nature of the tool, you can very easily draw open lines, but we don't want to do that. We want to think of everything as shapes, and we're going to go ahead and draw all the way around here, okay? And think of this all as one solid shape. As I come to the end, you'll see the closing of the shape little circle there. I'm going to go ahead and release, and it's going to join it, okay? So just because you have the option to do open lines with this, like you would with a regular pencil on paper, you're not going to want to do that. You're going to want to apply the same principles that you do when you're using the pen tool, and you want to close everything so that it's fillable with color. Okay? Now, I don't worry that there's this overlap here because then I'm going to draw this shape here. So I'm going to go ahead and click, hold down, and drag. And I'm going to create this here. And you'll notice as I come around, it'll have that little circle indicator, so that'll close. Okay? And then I'd create another one for this here. And then another one for this shape here. Now I like to start in areas where there's no other point so I could clearly see that I'm connecting. Otherwise, if I start it too close to another line, it's hard to see if it's actually going to close. Okay? So like for the ear here, we would go in here and I'd create some of the little shaggies. Not too concerned if it follows my drawing exactly. I'd come back around. Okay. And again, I'm not concerned with this overlap because I can then later arrange these to be behind each other or in front of each other when I fill them in with color, just like you saw in the pen tool video. Okay. Also, I'm not too concerned if these aren't perfectly accurate, because I also have the option to modify with the direct selection arrow. I can come in here and click off and then click on and move these up or down and move these around and grab an entire path and move that. So I have the same editing options that I do with the pen tool. I can also change these from corner points to curve points just like in the pen tool video. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the pencil tool. Now I'm going to draw, and I'm going to show you other little tricks and tips that you can use as you're drawing around here, okay? So a lot of times what happens with this tool is that it can sometimes be left open because it has the ability to draw just open-ended lines. We don't want to get into the habit of that. So you'll notice with some of those settings that we set when we double-clicked on the pencil tool, one of them was to keep the path selected so that we can continue drawing. Watch what happens if I click here and if I accidentally release and I stop there. Now I shouldn't ever leave anything like that. If I want to continue to close the shape, what I just do is go to the end point here and see how I get that slanted line. That means I'm going to continue. Now if I click from there, it'll continue drawing and I can come all the way back around and I can go there. There's a circle. Now it's a closed shape. So again, if I accidentally draw a line and say, oh, I just want to make sure that everything's a closed shape, I just want to go to the end of it here, come back, start doing that. And go all the way around. Okay? All right. So again, so we have all these editing tools that we talked about. You know how you can continue a line so that you can continue closing the shapes and always have closed shapes so that they're fillable with colors. But another nifty tool that's also within this area is the smooth tool. This one here. And this smooth tool can be used on these paths that are created by the pencil tool, but so it's also a modifying tool for the pen tool. But in order to use this tool, the path needs to be selected. So right now, if I try to do something to these ones that aren't selected, nothing happens. But notice this one is selected. You could tell because of all the little points that are selected there. If I go in here and if I kind of just click, hold down and drag, like almost like I'm drawing over it, and I go like that, it just smoothed it out, okay? Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to draw a very crooked one so that you can see what I'm talking about. If I go like a really jagged line like this, if I go in here and with it selected, if it's not selected, if it's clicked off, you can just select it with your black selection arrow. Okay. If I go in and I find my smooth tool now, and now if I go along the edge, like here, see how it's crooked? If I click, hold down and drag, kind of like I'm dragging along the edge, see how it just smoothed out that edge? That's your smooth tool. And again, you can use this on paths that you draw either with your pencil tool or with your pen tool or with your curvature tool. You can still use this smooth tool to smooth things out. You just need to make sure that the path is selected. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and click on it and show you one more time. I'm going to select that path there, and I'm going to go and I'm going to grab the smooth tool, and then I'm just going to go along the edge here and clicking, holding down and dragging all the way around. And it should smooth it out. Click off of it. Okay. All right, this concludes your lesson on the pencil tool and the smooth tool. If you have any questions, please be sure to contact me.